Hello rebels and welcome back to my life. So the Orlando shooting happened and we've all heard about it and there are no words to express how horrific it is. And make no mistake, it happened because America has a gun problem. But a lot of people don't see it that way. They don't think it's because of guns. Maybe you think it's not about guns. Maybe you think it's not about guns, it's about criminals. Except that one of the problems is that violent criminals with violent criminal records are freely allowed to purchase guns, which they then frequently use to kill people at much higher percentages than if they are armed with something like a knife or a baseball bat. Of these criminals, a large percentage are violent domestic abusers. A huge percentage of women in America are killed by a male partner, a boyfriend or a husband. These partners have often abused them in the past, sometimes been convicted of it, and yet they are totally free to then purchase a gun, which they then frequently use to kill their wives and girlfriends, and they don't even have to pass a background check. And as far as other criminals go, right now the US government is offering a combined total of $2 million for information leading to the arrest of the people on the top 10 America's Most Wanted list. These are men who have robbed, raped, and murdered countless people in our country, including children, and right now any one of them could walk into Walmart and purchase firearms and nobody would catch them because they wouldn't even need to show an ID. So maybe it is about criminals, but it's also about guns. But maybe you think it's not about guns, it's about terrorists. Well, aside from the fact that terrorists have killed a tiny, minuscule percentage of Americans compared to Americans killing other Americans with firearms, yeah, terrorists are pretty scary. And there is no federal law preventing convicted or suspected terrorists from purchasing firearms without IDs, without background checks. The Orlando shooter had twice been investigated by the FBI for connections to ISIL, currently the largest terrorist organization in the Middle East, and yet he was able to go and buy himself an AR-15, which he then used to kill almost 50 people. I don't know if he had to undergo a background check or not to get that gun, but even if he did, his record as a terrorist sympathizer would not have legally prevented him from purchasing it. So maybe it is about terrorists. But it's also about guns. But maybe you think it's not about guns, it's about mental health. Except that we cannot seem to pass laws preventing people with mental health issues, even violent ones, or people who are on mind-altering psychotropic drugs from purchasing guns, as many as they want. And please understand, I want to be crystal clear about this, nobody is allowed to get shitty and ableist in my mentions. This is not intended to stigmatize people with mental health issues or make them feel bad or seem other or weird or evil in any way. This is more along the lines of, like, we have laws that you are not allowed to drink and drive because we know that drinking impairs mental function and therefore makes you a danger behind the wheel of a vehicle. And we have black box labels on many mental health drugs warning of suicidal or homicidal ideation, and yet people on these drugs are allowed to purchase and own as many firearms as they want. Violent ideation is a terrible problem, and it's bad enough that so many people have to deal with it, especially in a self-harm kind of way, without the ease of an incredibly violent weapon in the home. Most gun deaths in America are suicides by a large margin, and successful suicide rates skyrocket when a gun is entered into the equation. So maybe it is about mental health. But it's also about guns. But maybe you think it's not about guns. Maybe you think it's about gun education because a tremendous number of gun deaths in America are accidental. Yet every time we try to pass federal laws requiring gun training and like proving your competency with this violent and deadly weapon, such measures are blocked in Congress by the gun lobby, which is led by the NRA. Because the NRA is owned by the gun manufacturers. They don't want any barriers to entry on owning a gun. They just want to sell a product. So the laws never pass, and none of these laws ever pass, no matter how often we try, because in his 7 years as president, Obama has not once ever tried to ban guns or recall guns owned by American citizens. It just hasn't happened. But he and Democrats in Congress have proposed multiple legislative measures to address all the problems that I've talked about in this video, all of the other problems other than guns. And every single time, it's blocked by the NRA and the gun lobby. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know that people are trying to address the problem and find solutions using just straight up common sense. Nothing that sounds crazy to anybody. But if you don't know that, it's because you're not paying attention. Stop being ignorant about this. It is not something to be proud of that you didn't know that people are actually trying to fix the problem. Because bad people are stopping the solutions. And they're doing it because you're ignorant about it. So maybe you still don't think it's about guns. But you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. It's about guns. I'll see you on Friday.